Hi, Sean here, one half of Sean and Kiara. We are the co-creators of Lucy in the Sky, a graphic novel for middle grade readers published by First Second. Our second graphic novel, Rhiannon, will be out in October of 2025. If you like the things we do, please consider supporting us by becoming a paying member of our Patreon site for $4 a month. And if you enjoy videos like this, hit the like and subscribe buttons, as it'll help us build this channel. Thank you, and enjoy the video. Hello and welcome back. We're back to drawing the Yellow Man again, so we're up to page 9, starting the penciling for page 9. And the scene that we're beginning on this page is another redrawing of a scene that I'd done before. In one of the last attempt I did of this story, in which I drew a number of the pages. So the artwork for the first version of the scene exists in the form of a couple of completed pages. So I'm basing some of the illustrations off of those, not really just light boxing them onto the new page, but redrawing them, but basing them on the illustrations that I already had. And also the formatting is a little different. I was using 3 tiers of panels, or 3 rows of panels, and I've settled on my normal 4 tiers, which is what I do normally these days. And some of those original panels, then, if I wanted to use them, to copy a bit of them, I'd have to reformat them that way. So here we see Chic Talbot coming home to his apartment. He lives in an apartment building, as does Lorelei. And opening the door, we see the number of his apartment on his door there, and the little bubbles above his head indicating that he's been out drinking as usual at the Tally Ho, and now he's come home. So this sequence is another sequence, like many of the early chapters or scenes in the book, in which we're introduced to a new character. And so the sequence is named after her. The character is Stella Fairchild. That'll be the name that appears in the first panel, which I've left blank there. If you got a fleeting glimpse of the page as I was lightboxing this drawing onto it. And she is Chic's next-door neighbor in the apartment building. And she goes under the what she calls it, her nom de guerre, or her artist's name, Fairy Peril. Fairy as in fairy house, fairy dust, pixie fairy kind of fairy. And her real name, her actual name is Stella Fairchild. And she's a character that I have, I'm still trying to figure out as I finish writing the rest of the story. It's not completely finished. I've got what I think is probably the first half of the story written out in script form. And then the second half is kind of, there's lots of loose threads that need to be tied up, and lots of room to rethink things. And her exact nature is something that I've left open in the story. But for now, she's this kind of strange next-door neighbor. Chick here is opening his front door, and then in the next panel we see him come in to his apartment in the dark. You see there, here's the original page. So that first panel there is where I will draw in the title, which will be her name. And we see a little silhouette, negative image silhouette of the apartment building. Very simple. And we can see my original art there, where I had the first panel in the original of him opening the door. We see him coming in from the inside of the apartment, the darkened inside of the apartment. In my redrawing, I'm starting him out in the hallway with his back to us, and we're seeing his view. And then the view is reversed in the next panel, and we have him come in. And as he does come in to the darkened apartment, the light is turned on, and he's given a shock of surprise that somebody inside has turned on the light, as we see there, briefly. So I wanted to redraw that panel, his screaming in shock. I wanted to make it a little, pretty cartoonish. This extreme emotion in his face, which we don't normally see, and his slicked back hair sort of flying up in the air. And as I'm sketching it here, I'm still not quite sure how to do it to make it look right, so in the original, it's Chick who flicks on the light, and as he does so, he hears somebody in the room say hi, and that's what scares him momentarily until he realizes who it is. In this redrawing, he merely comes in, opens the door, walks into the darkened apartment, and then the light comes on. Whoever's in there flicks on the light and says hi, scaring him out of his wits. So here we're just having him close the door. There's little details like that. I was about to say trivial little details, but they're not so trivial. I put a lot of thought into this. These little details. Who should be turning on the light? Anyway, here's I quickly scrap that last sketch and decide to, okay, we're going to see him from the back now. He's closing the door with his back to us. The light comes on. Should I have the sound effect or not? or should the artwork just express the fact that the light is coming on? That's kind of tricky. In the color it'll be more obvious, but sometimes these things are hard to do in just black and white. Okay, so this will be the panel where he's inside the door now and the light comes on. But back to Stella, who we'll see in a few moments. So she has a habit of just sort of letting herself into his apartment. We learn that she has a key of her own, and that she kind of comes and goes as she pleases. We'll only see the first half of this page in this video, but we learn a few things about her. we learn that not only does she freely come and go, and that she has a key. In the dialogue on this page, she says, she asks him after he comes in, why is it that you never come to my apartment? After he berates her and telling her, you've got to quit doing that. That is sneaking in and then scaring him like this. So she says, why is it that you never come to my apartment? And his response is, well, you don't have any furniture. And she says, oh, yeah, right. And she comments that he looks. Here we see the original page, and his response after he realizes that it's her. And I really liked the drawing in this of him, his expression. So this is the one panel that I will repurpose with some slight alteration. So he comes in, and even after the shock, she realizes that he's a bit perturbed. She asks him, what's wrong? And he kind of brushes it off. Nothing that a few more drinks can't solve. we slowly learn that Chic is a functional alcoholic, that he drinks throughout the day, and that he's not very happy generally in his life. And in fact, the only time that we really kind of see him enjoy things is when he's sitting around talking to Stella. She's sort of, we get to see later on that she's kind of, she serves a purpose for him, kind of like Robin does to Batman, or Holmes does to, Watson does to Sherlock Holmes. It's a person to bounce his inner dialogue off of. And we learn eventually that she is an artist of some sort, and this is kind of the theme of this story. This is one of those. This is the story that I have been struggling to complete. It's my big ideas story. And on a surface level, it's kind of like an homage to comics, in the world of American comics, in the history of American comics. But on a higher level, it's a meditation on art. And in fact, the subtitle of The Yellow Man I'd intended was the uses and abuses of art. And all of these characters are involved in some art of their own, and their struggles with why they do it, what is the meaning of it, what is its utility. Chic is very what his attitude is. I mean, he doesn't really enjoy the art that he does for his work. It's work. He does it because he knows that he can do it well, and he gets paid for it, and he gets little pleasure from it, and he laments that in his conversations with Stella. And Stella is kind of like his idealistic brain. So in this way, I've played around with what is she exactly, and I don't want to ruin any surprises so far as what she eventually becomes in the story. But she does have weird qualities about her that, as we go further into the story, it makes her seem less and less like an actual person and more of a... We begin to wonder if she is actually just a projection of Chick's mind. But anyway, as I said, she's, as it is right now, she is his next door neighbor. She's an artist herself, although more of a fine artist. And we get a little bit about her own struggles with the meaning of the art that she engages in. Here we see her. We get our first look of her. And that's going to bring us to the end of this row, and also to the end of the video. And I expect this page will be done very soon, and we should be seeing it up on our Patreon site, so please consider being a member. Thank you for joining us.